So Charles Oputa, popularly known as Charly Boy, faces off against the Bariga Local Council Development Area in Lagos. Mr. Oputa, of course, perhaps one of this country's most popular entertainers, but is also well known for his activism, his lifelong advocacy for good governance, and his fighting spirit. Known to many as the area father, he's become an inspiration to this country's youth and a shoulder on which so many of Nigeria's poor have leaned on. Between 1989 and 2006, he gained recognition in an area of Lagos known as Bagada for his charity and philanthropy aimed at the people there, giving away motorcycles to Okada riders, scholarships to many students, and financial support that helped to lift many pensioners out of poverty. Which is why in the 1990s, the local people decided to name a bus stop in his honor. But now the Bariga Local Council Development Area has controversially removed Charly Boy's name and renamed it Olamide Bado Bus Stop after the rapper and musical executive known as Olamide. So how much of a slight is this move to someone who has shaped the lives of so many people there?
Yeah, I'm in Scotland, studying leadership practice in Napier University of Edinburgh. I moved to Abuja in 2006 in searching for a white-collar job. After 3 months, job I no get. I can't say, man, if I did like this, I may be vulnerable to join political talks or drug peddlers. Then and then, I begin hug newspaper as a vendor at the back of Federal Secretariat, Abuja. As I decide this newspaper, for 6 years, I dey go, I dey come. I don't know, say, some big men say, they even they notice me. Say, man, this boy will be say just the hustle like this. One day, I come down one man called Charles Oputa, aka Charly Boy. He come buy newspaper for me. From there, we interacted. He come say, vendor, you no talk like illiterate now. This job wey you dey do, I don dey notice you for over the time. Now I tell am say, Baba, as I come as a graduate, I find work I no see. He come say, okay, to cut the long story short, if I wan help you now, wetin you want me do for you? I say, Baba, I want to get second degree in political science. He say, true? He say, yes. This man single-handedly sponsored my university education free of charge in the University of Abuja. After graduating, he still come ask me again, say, as you graduate like this, you now work you won't do, abi you still want further your studies? I say, I want further my studies. Now I'm in Scotland.
Well, that's just one example. I was looking forward to getting a clip about somebody talking about that bus stop and the controversy around it. Have we got that clip of the bus stop? Okay, we don't have it. We'll try and get to it later on. But I'm suitably delighted to say that we do have somebody here, that Nigeria's ultimate maverick entertainer and veteran political activist, Charly Boy, and he joins me now on the line from Lagos. Charly Boy, how nice to see you again. It's been quite some time, so I'm really glad that we're able to have you on the program today. I'm going to come to you in a minute, but let me just get that clip of somebody talking, one of your supporters actually, I think, talking about that renaming of the bus stop in Lagos. Let's take a listen.
Lagos State local government chairman changing Charly Boy bus station to Olamide Bado's bus station. Is that not petty? Politicians, they shall look for a way to divide us, like through tribal, ethnic. They just won't divide us. Okay, changing the bus stop name to Olamide Bado now, does that mean all the conductors there will not be collecting money? Does that make their life better in Bagada? Does that make their transport cheaper? You just want to divide us. Will that stop the tsunami coming 2027? That will be, we still win Bagada, Sholuyi, He doesn't stop anything. Some people write their name on the wall, while some people write their name on people's hearts.
Well, that's obviously somebody who supports Charlie Boy there and has a particular political perspective, which may not necessarily be representative, but that's his point of view. But let's return to Charlie Boy, who is on the line from Lagos. Great to see you, Charlie Boy. I mean, let me start from the general to the particular, and I got to say, you're looking good, old chap. I don't know how you do it, but I mean, your face just looks remarkably well put together and well kept. But you've lived in Lagos for a long time. Your father was a Supreme Court justice there. You've had a lot of passion for that city. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. I started off basically from Bagada. That was in the 90s, like you said in your intro. And a lot of things played out in Bagada. I still have fond memories of what happened back in the days, the things with the Okada people, all manner of people. I mean, Charlie Boy bus stop where I lived, in the bus stop, was like a mecca of some sort, artists, wannabe artists, especially when the Charlie Boy show started, so it housed a lot of people. It was like a small Hollywood, if you know what I mean, in that area. And then what was most fun was the community work that I did there, especially gifting over 2,000 Okada riders free bikes, and that's why they had this cult followership, right, at the time. And all I can remember are fond memories. We gave a lot of scholarships out, so I guess that's why the people felt, they could honor me by naming the bus stop after me. And that's how it came about.
Well, thank you for that summary. And so they named that bus stop after you, but was it named Charlie Boy Bus Stop officially or unofficially? I'm wondering whether the people who named the bus stop after you had the legal right to do so.
Mm-hmm. Well, give a dog a bad name, it sticks. Say something nice that resonates with everybody, it also sticks. So it was their doing. We didn't go to any local government to say we're applying for a bus stop. I don't think that's what they did. But they started calling it Charlie Boy Bus Stop because I lived in the, in the bus stop. So that's how, it became popular. There was no contractual agreement as such.
Right. I understand what you mean, because sometimes purely by custom, by repetition, by usage, some places become
Correct.
named. I mean, there are a lot of places around the country that are like
Correct.
that. There are also a lot of places abroad that are like that. But I mean, the fact that they made the decision. Go ahead. Yeah.
Charles.
Yes.
Even in Abuja, you have Charlie Boy Gate. Okay. So that's what the people, maybe for the love, for what they know that you love to do,
Yeah, but I understand what you mean.
Say,
I understand what you mean. I'm saying be careful how you talk about Charlie Boy Gate in Abuja before they go after that one as well.
Well, isn't that a little silly, Charlie? Isn't it a little silly?
Yeah.
Isn't it a little, doesn't it smirk of pettiness? What's in the name anyway? Somebody asked, you know. But if you say you're changing a name, okay? You're changing a name. How do you restrict people from still saying Charly Boy Bus Stop? Are you going to arrest anybody who says that?
Yeah, you have a point there.
So this is simply silly. This is, you know.
You have a point there, but however, there are those who say that official naming of the bus stop, as opposed to unofficially calling it Charly Boy, do you think it might reflect the dynamic nature of community recognition? I mean, your name has been associated with that bus stop for decades, and perhaps there are now other people who are also making meaningful contributions that deserve to be recognized.
Oh yes, I'm all for that. Okay, they can name it. You know, all the young people, all the young artists that are doing so well, they could name it after anybody. That is not an issue. Okay, I feel that is more of a distraction. Okay, we're not facing what we should face in the times of today. Okay, because whether you like it or not, the race for 2027 has already begun. You know, so this, I think, in my own little opinion, that's what's happening. Everybody's trying to, and why is it, Charles? Please explain to me. Maybe I'm not understanding something. Why is it that whenever politics is at play, okay, this is when they try to pitch us against each other? Why do they do that? Because this playbook is what they've been using since the 60s. So we're hip to it. Young people understand it. So why do they do that? Because we let them do that to us. Simple and short.
But I mean,
how can the worst of us lead the best of us? How can?
Yeah, that's actually a very, very legitimate question that you've raised. That's a very. Can you hear me? I hear you. I see you fiddling with your earpiece. Can you hear me at all, Charly Boy?
No, I'm okay. I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think that's a very important point you raised about how the worst can lead the best. Yeah. That's a very legitimate point. But while we're pondering that question, do you have anxieties that Lagos is changing for the worse in terms of its attitude to its multi-ethnic residents? Because I recall seeing you speaking some time ago about the fact that you see Lagos as a sort of no man's land.
Well, let me explain the no man's land thing. What I really meant in saying that. Are we together? Are you with me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay. What I really meant by saying Lagos is more or less like a no man's land. Yes, I did say that also. I was comparing it with New York. That doesn't disturb the fact that there were indigents before you started having a potpourri of different people from all over, converging in New York that made New York what it is. Okay? Now, we are not the only people who have problem globally. Look at what is happening in America. Leadership have ceased to be about the people, okay? It's about the haves. So this is a fight. Ours is similar. And why I was so disturbed about Trump taking over, because I understand the mentality of the man called Donald Trump. And I know it's all about building his own personal empire. It has nothing to do with the people. So what do you think? In Africa, we have, I'm sorry, we've been cursed with bad leadership. People who don't care a hoot about the people that they lead. You see how dangerous? I know that leadership globally has fallen to an all-time low, you know. So this is not, it's just we have a multiple choice problem. But I think that what's most important in the now is that let us talk about how our votes will count in the year 2027. Because, you know, many days for the thief, one day for the owner. Because this, what is happening in the now, is no longer sustainable. If average Nigerians are going through this kind of poverty, this kind of hardship, you can now start to imagine what next year will throw up. People would be dying like flies on the street. So, all die na die, my brother. You talk, you die. You no talk, you go still die.
Indeed. And I know that, Charlie Boy, over the years, through your political activism and your good governance advocacy, you've dreamt of creating a new Nigeria, a better Nigeria. Does that dream seem to be getting nearer or further away as the years go by?
Hell no. Hell no, because what keeps us alive is hope, innit? Hope. Hope that my tomorrow will come. That's what keeps us alive. And I've said it times without number, the salvation of this country lies in the hands of exceptional people. And who are those people? They're the youths of this country who are coming to the realization of the kind of powers they hold. Our people who are doing tremendously well in the diaspora. These are the exceptional youth I'm looking forward to come and salvage the situation. Because this cannot go on forever. But my prayer is, Charles, that I will see this change in my lifetime. But I'm not under any delusion. As long as I know that the change will come. Because I believe that that change will come. And it will come about by the exceptional youths of this country. Yeah, so it will have to get worse before it gets better, Charles. And
well,
that's why I'm worrying about even before 2027. Okay? We're going to see the signs. And we're going to finally understand that part of it is our fault. Because we have had a rather nonchalant attitude about this. Now that alarm is blowing everywhere, now I don't clear now.
Well, look, it's not funny actually, but the way you say it is funny. But let me just say, unfortunately, we lost a bit of time, and I really
just
apologize.
Expressing myself.
Yes, it's good to see you express yourself. I mean, that's one thing people admire about you, that capacity to express yourself without fear or favor. But we're almost out of time. Unfortunately, we lost a bit of time. I mean, there are those who say...
No problem.
There are those who say they have an existential dread for this country, and that will all be watching the final season of Nigeria if we don't do something about the growing fascism in places like Lagos and other parts of Nigeria. Is that a point of view that you subscribe to, or do you think of it as sort of gallows humor?
No, that's true in its essence. That's so true. I have fears too, but I'd rather be hopeful. You know, I mean, there has to be a twist. There'll come a twist. Okay, you can't continue to create this kind of evil, pitching people against themselves, using religion, using hunger as a weapon of mass destruction. You can't keep doing that. You know, so at one point it is bound to stop. And I only pray that it happens before my very eyes, Charles. Thank you for having me.
On that very sobering note, I want to thank you very much indeed, Charly Boy. And again, apologies for the time that let me call it wasted at the beginning, because we had a sound issue there. But we appreciate very much indeed your joining us. Charly Boy is the ultimate maverick entertainer, veteran political activist, and he was talking to me on the line there from Lagos.